this video, I'll show you how to make this yoga mat bag. It's got a drawstring top with a cinch and 2 pockets to put your phone in. In this video, I'll show you how to make a bag for your yoga mat with pockets out of this old pair of khaki pants. Feel free to adapt this project the way you see fit, and if you don't have an old pair of pants for this project, I will provide all of the dimensions and you can cut out your fabric pieces. Other items that you'll need for this project are, you'll need your sewing machine with coordinating thread, you'll need scissors, something to measure with, pins, a safety pin, and for the drawstring at top, I'm going to use a shoelace, but feel free to use a pretty ribbon. And also for the drawstring on the top, I'll be using something called a cord stopper. This can be found in the notions section of your local craft store or sewing store. You just need 1 cord stopper for this project. You'll also need a seam ripper for this project. So to get started, first thing I'm going to do is take a look at my pants, and what I've decided to do is use the cuff of my pants as the channel for my top drawstring. Now, so it's pretty much already pre-made for me, except that the seam for this hem of my pants is pretty much right in the middle of where I want to have my channel for the drawstring top of my yoga bag. So I'm going to take my seam ripper and rip out the seam. Now I have gone all the way around the cuff of my pants, which will become the top of my yoga bag, and I've removed seam, and we'll resew this later on for the top of the yoga bag. What I have done in this step is I have marked off where I'm going to cut my khaki pants for my yoga mat bag. So the main panel right here is 30 inches by 17 inches. Now this is, I only measured 8.5 inches, half of 17 inches, because I'm going to cut 2 pieces at the same time. So when I unfold this, it'll be 17 inches wide. So for you guys who are not using pants, who are just using regular fabric, you'll need to cut your fabric 30 inches by 17 inches for your main panel. Next, we've got the pocket, which will be 12 inches tall by the same width, 8.5 inches or 17 inches total. And then the bottom of our bag, this circle right here, I came up with some calculations on figuring out the circumference and figuring out how big to cut the circle. I will include that in the description field along with a PDF, so you can do this at home. And then, last but not least, I need a strap for my bag, so I'll cut that out right here. And if I need more to make a long strap, carrying strap for my bag, I can cut that out right here. I've got enough space. It kind of varies by the pair of pants that you're using, how big they are, what size they are, how to situate this, but this was how it worked out best for my pair of pants. For our main panel, I've cut this, and then I open it up, and it's going to be 17 inches by 30 inches. Alright, in this step we have sewn our 2 pieces of fabric together to make a 35-inch long piece of fabric. So this is 35 inches by 5 inches, and now we take good sides together and we will fold it in half lengthwise here, and we'll sew it all the way down with a 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way down, and we'll turn it to make a strap. I am now sewing this strap good sides together, wrong sides facing out, with a 1/2 inch seam allowance, sewing all the way down lengthwise to make my strap for my yoga mat bag. And there we are. We will turn this. So turn this so it's right side facing out now. And here is the strap for my yoga mat bag, and my strap is ready to go. I'm going to add a little bit of decorative stitching to the strap. In this step, I'm adding some decorative stitching. This is the pocket that will be attaching to our yoga mat bag later on in this project. So what I'm doing now is I'm adding a decorative stitch to the top of the pocket, just to make it look better, just make it look less like pants and more like a yoga bag. And that is my beautiful decorative stitching that you'll see at the top of the pocket for my yoga mat bag. In this step, I'll be sewing a small buttonhole to the drawstring of my bag. Now, if you don't want to do this, you can just leave this spot open and then you can do the drawstring from there. But I'm going to add a small buttonhole here so I know where to insert my drawstring. So what I did first is I decided to put the buttonhole right in the middle of my bag. So I just folded it in half and then marked it off with a pin. So you can really put your buttonhole anywhere you want to. You could substitute with a grommet. Just, you've got a lot of options in the way you do this. And I've got my sewing machine here set up for a buttonhole here. And we'll just get this started. And voila, here is my brand new buttonhole so that I can put my drawstring in. In this step, we have our body of our yoga mat bag with the buttonhole I sewed on in the last step right here. And we're gonna base stitch this pocket to the front of the bag. So this is just a simple, we can pin this together, but basically we wanna get everything lined up so that we have the pocket in the right place when we sew together this bag. We're also going to make one stitch down the seam right here, and that will make it into 2 pockets. Really, you could do this any way you want to. You could make it into 3 pockets. I am just pinning the pocket into place. In this step, I am stitching right along the seam line of the pants and making 2 pockets, making a divider for my pocket, which makes it into 2 pockets for my yoga mat bag. In this step, I have my beautiful yoga mat bag flat right here, and I've got my pocket sewn in. It's got 2 little pockets because of this divider I just added in the previous step. And now we take right sides together and we fold this in half lengthwise, and we'll just sew all the way down the long side of our yoga mat bag, making sure to have our channel open. Don't want to just accidentally sew it shut. So here we are, we have our channel open. We're going to sew all the way down using a 1/2 inch seam allowance. And here is our sewn side of our bag, and we will turn this inside out for the next step. We will be attaching the bottom of our strap for the next step. In this step, I have my bag turned right side out, and I'm going to, this is the bottom of the bag, it's still unfinished, but I'm going to go ahead and attach my strap to the bottom of the bag and base stitch it in here, and then when we attach the bottom, it will nicely fold into the seam. And then also on top here, I've pinned where I want it on top, and then I'm going to sew all the way around to attach this strap. So I'm going to do that now. So first thing I'm going to do is remove this extra part of my sewing machine, and I'm going to add my top stitch right here. I'm just going to stitch all the way around the top, and this will both attach, finish the channel on the top of my bag, and also attach the strap in place too. So as I come around, you'll see this buttonhole I made in a previous step. So we want to sew under the buttonhole, of course. And here's the top of our bag with the strap sewn in place. Now we'll do the bottom of the bag. Now the bottom of the bag is open still. We're just base stitching this strap into place so it'll fold nicely in when we go to finish off the bag. And there we go. So now we'll turn our bag inside out again. This is the bottom of the bag, rounded bottom of the bag that we cut in the first step. And so I'll pin this in place here, going all the way around. And here I've pinned the bottom of the bag, and I'll start sewing all the way around. And I'll use a 1/2 inch seam allowance, putting the table back on my sewing machine. And here is the bottom of the bag sewn on, and we will now turn this inside out once again. So this is the good side of the bag now facing. I just wanted to show you one thing before we finished, and in the last step we sewed the inside of the bottom of our bag. So I flipped it inside out now, and now you can see the good side, which is a beautifully sewn bottom of the bag, and our strap is nicely sewn in to the bottom of our bag as well. So I think this is a good method. And here is the last step of our yoga mat bag project. We have our buttonhole that we created in a previous step. Now I'm going to take my shoelace. You could also use a ribbon for this step as well. And I will thread my shoelace and my safety pin that I've attached to help it go all the way around. We're going to go all the way around our little channel that we created with our yoga mat bag. And here we're pulling out the shoelace out of the other side of the channel. We just need the safety pin just to guide it around. Now we've got our shoelace in place as the drawstring of our yoga mat bag. Put this in place, and now we've got the drawstring of our yoga mat bag. Here's my finished yoga bag. The strap works great from carrying around my yoga mat. And here is my finished yoga bag. I've got my yoga mat sliding really easily inside of it. I have my drawstring cinched top, and I've got my pockets ready to go here, and of course my carrying strap. So it all worked out. Thanks for watching.